Hey guys, Sales Wisdom Pod with Javas Sekhon. He is VP of Sales at Cuboh. We're going to talk sales. We're going to talk delivery apps or restaurant apps, I guess, which Cuboh is into. And yeah, maybe if we're lucky, get into ghost kitchens. Javas has a cool background. He's been a founder. He's from Victoria, British Columbia. Javas, can you introduce yourself? Do a better job than myself at introducing you.
Thanks, Charles. Appreciate being on this podcast. And yeah, my name's Javas Sekhon, VP of Sales at Cuboh, as you mentioned, and have been with the team for 4 years now. And I think I was employee number 6 when we started out, and we were part of Y Combinator of summer of 2019. And that was my introduction into Cuboh and restaurant technology and helping restaurants by consolidating the delivery apps to their point of sale system. So it's been a fun ride, and saw some really big growth during the pandemic, but now things have kind of gotten a lot more consistent and steady in our process. And yeah, I'd love to dive into some of the sales aspects at Cuboh.
Yeah, for sure. Because at first I was like, restaurant app, not going to do good because like most restaurants close down. But yeah, your app was helping them sell online and deliver. So like, yeah, that was quite interesting, right? So tell us about the story of what happened with COVID when COVID hit. At first it was panic, but then you saw the charts go up and up and up. How did you live that on your side as the VP sales?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, before COVID, I was doing maybe 4 or 5 demos a week. And then March 16th hit, and we were doing 4 or 5 demos a day, each rep for 6 days a week, and 7 if we wanted to. It was that busy. But yeah, as you mentioned, like restaurants either had to close down or get on as many delivery apps as possible. And so the conversation really changed of like, oh, why do I need to get on Uber Eats or Skip? It's like, all right, how do I get on Uber Eats and Skip? And how do, like, what other delivery apps are there to get revenue and stay afloat? And so, yeah, it was a cool process, and we were able to help restaurants get on as many delivery apps as possible without adding any complexity to your operation. We're actually making it easier by bringing it all into a single device and sending that order directly to the back kitchen printer or to a point of sale system. So they can operate more delivery apps with less people in-house, which was the case during the pandemic.
Aggregating apps are of my favorite business models because it's like, hey, you're all competing and doing the same thing. Let's like add the one platform, one umbrella, and you can all be under that same umbrella. It's kind of confusing, right, for the end customers sometimes to see that there's like 10 or 15 competing solutions and that they need to try them all and so forth. So I think it's an elegant and simple solution to complex problems, hence the success of these. But how much competition do you have in the food delivery apps aggregating SaaS sector of things?
Yeah, there's about 3 or 4 major competitors in this space that have been around in and around maybe 6 or 7 years. We've been around for 5 years, so we were able to kind of build off of what we saw in the marketplace and offer a solution where we are super adaptable, where there's no restaurant that can't use Cuboh, in the sense that we can send orders to a point of sale system or directly just to a printer in the back kitchen. So if we don't integrate on the POS side, okay, we still have a solution for you. You're still getting full value out of our platform. And we're going to open up the doors for direct ordering, or also ghost kitchens, and adding multiple concepts to your operation, all in a single device at the end of the day.
The pricing is quite affordable, and I'm guessing that some of your competition, they also charge a price per fee. So like 1%, for example, which must be somewhat annoying for these restaurant owners. I mean, it is a good business model, right? Because 1% out of 100K is 10,000. So that's like good revenue. Am I right in saying that? Because you guys start at 100 USD a month for people that make up to 20K, which is very affordable.
Yeah, it comes up to like $3 to $7 a day basically on depending on what tier. And I think what I like really about our pricing model is that it's fluid. So you're not locked into a tier. So if you're having a good month, which there's a lot of seasonality in restaurants, if you benefit of higher sales volume from the delivery apps, hey, yeah, you are going to pay a little extra, but it is kind of relative. But if you are seeing a decline in sales during the wintertime, for instance, hey, we're not going to charge you the same amount because you're not processing the same amount through the Cuboh platform. So I think our customers enjoy the how agile the pricing model is, and again, you're not locked into a specific tier model. We're only going to succeed if the restaurant is succeeding.
Right, and this is important because you're like there's like a multiple softwares that stack together. So there's Uber Eats under you, and they take a percentage, and so I guess you factored that in. I would guess also that you guys started with tablet consolidation. Now you're providing reports, you're providing menu management, and even a storefront. So tell us about these features, when they were deployed, and tell us like their popularity, like why that order of things. Did you like talk to your customers and see that there was demand there? And yeah, why did you deploy these features?
Yeah, good question. I think there's like a natural evolution of the features that we have to our platform, right? And so the first pain point that we were able to solve right off the bat was, hey, you have tablet hell, we call it, 3 tablets that you have to manage and make sure they're charged. Hey, let's bring that into a single device, one interface for your team to work with, get these orders to your back kitchen. And then as you bring on more delivery apps, hey, now with our dashboard analytics, we're able to bring all that data into a single interface, one platform under one roof. So you're not logging into the Uber Eats or dashboard or DoorDash dashboard to pull in numbers. It's all under one spot for you to look at. Hey, if you have multiple locations, this is great. You can have a little drop-down menu as well. So it's great for like mid-market enterprise clients as well to manage multiple locations. The menu management side of things, same thing, really targeted towards our multi-location clients. So they're not doing repeated tasks for each location. Hey, you can go in, change a menu item, change a price, upload pictures, and then apply that instantly across whatever location you need to do it as. And then coming out of the pandemic, our storefront option, we noticed that a lot of customers didn't have online ordering on their own website. So customers can place that pickup or delivery order directly from the website, kind of bypassing the third-party delivery apps. And so we wanted to provide just another value add to our current customer base. Hey, we'll set it up for you guys. It's super easy. It takes 15 to 20 minutes to set up. We basically pull in a DoorDash menu and are able to kind of display it on their website and not taking a crazy commission that Uber Eats and DoorDash are, right? So yeah, we've been lots of positive feedback, and at the end of the day, just provide more value for the restaurant under our SaaS platform.
And you're not charging more for that. I'm seeing the model, it's really YC-ish, really competitive. You're not like trying to grab more revenue necessarily. I think you guys are really optimizing for MRR, which is cool. My next question is like an interesting one. Can you get rich off running a restaurant or multiple location? And the background to that question is that my dad's a marketing consultant, and since I was 10, he used to tell me that restaurants are the worst businesses. You can get into razor thin margins, lots of stress and so forth. My first job was in the restaurant industry and was quite stressful, was quite kind of fun also at the same time. And then here, like I'm in Mexico, I constantly order probably every day on Food Deliv App, and I'm really loyal to a lot of the restaurants, and it's consistent business. Yes, you can optimize your menu. Some items are more profitable than the other, but still, I do think that most people do not get in the restaurant business to make money. They do it as a passion project. As soon as you try to have managers manage your restaurants and try to get away from your own restaurants, it kind of loses its essence and its magic mojo, and it's not super scalable. So can you get rich off the restoration business?
Yeah, I definitely think so. At the end of the day, you kind of mentioned it. If you have that passion and actually have great food, people are going to come regardless. And that needs to be the driving force. There's so many external factors that can hamper that, and we saw it during the pandemic through um, the pandemic shutting down restaurants, to labor shortages, to inflation. Like that's all hitting your bottom line at the end of the day. But through that, all the successful restaurants that were able to stay open and stay agile through it all, they all had good food. And that's kind of where we're seeing, especially on the ghost kitchen side, brands popping up. But if the food isn't there, you're not getting repeatable business. It's not scalable, and we're seeing some churn in the industry on that side of things. But the ones that are successful have figured out that, hey, food comes first. It doesn't really matter if someone orders an item one time. It's, are they ordering it a third, fourth, fifth time? Is there that loyalty? That's where marketing comes into play. And so from a business, there's so many aspects of just, yeah, you need to make good food, but hey, are you marketing it? Do you have options for customers to order directly from you instead of going through the delivery apps? Do you have staff? Do you have reliable staff? Like there's a lot of factors, but if all those pieces come together nicely, you do have a scalable business. And I think in every city, every town, there's great use cases of that, of people starting out in a food truck to getting their first storefront to maybe opening up another location, right? So, yeah.
How could we see restaurants innovate to make more cash? For example, if I would share an affiliate link to my favorite place here in Oaxaca, and people would click and would buy from that, because most are foreigners that I would invite to this beautiful piece of the world here. That would be one. Then, a couple of years ago when NFTs were cool, and I believe a couple of businesses did that, but like every meal that I have, it has a special NFT. And I don't know, I'm filming myself eating with a smile and all happy jolly, and this stays on the web forever. Maybe there's a value to it. Maybe they can do something with it. How can restaurants innovate to make more cash?
Yeah, I think it's just being open to these different ideas. We saw the boom of NFTs, but also, I mean, working in SaaS, like applying a SaaS model to your restaurant business of, hey, sign up, it's $25 a month, and you'll get tortillas shipped to you, homemade from a restaurant, right? Or little boxes of like how to make a certain meal, or maybe it's a drink kit, or there's actually an ice cream place local in here, and they offer ice cream making lessons once a month, and it's like $300. You get a pint of ice cream at the end of the day, and you get to learn how to the exact process that the shop goes through. So I think there's a lot of creative ways, and all the successful restaurants are the ones that are able to stay agile and try new things, whether that's on their menu and their drinks, but also from a marketing standpoint as well, and applying different business techniques.
So many ways to innovate, right? So for example, if you're walking in, you get asked, hey, do you want to meet new people today? And then they place you on a table with other folks that you can
Those
have nice
strangers, yeah.
conversations. You could have an app to order, and you can order like special stuff on your food, or like a funny thing, they sing you a song or some. There's so many ways. Just that, yeah, innovation costs, in terms of energy. It's always tough for people also to apply new things. So I guess it must be gradual. But yeah, there's a lot of ways to innovate. And I love these the classes. Yet you need to be careful not to sound too touristy and automated, like
Yeah.
I can picture, well, I pictured, for example, our tour of our kitchen, but yeah, as soon as it sounds too commercial, people kind of get turned off. Or at least the best places, the most popular places, most of the time they feel very local, very authentic. And yeah, that's the essence. Now I have a couple of questions left for you. One is like sales related, right? Sales Wisdom podcast. So your actual outbound sequences and how you generate your meetings, what does it look like? Because me, for my restaurant SaaS, clients, I use D7 to scrape all restaurants. So Facebook, all restaurants on Facebook, all restaurants on Google Maps. I think it did Yelp as well, because restaurants are not available on Apollo, the platform that I use for outreach most of the time, on LinkedIn, right? Some restaurateurs on LinkedIn, but most are on Facebook and Google Maps. So I would use that. And the call to action was, can I call you at this number, right? And then their number would pop at the end. And yeah, there would be email, LinkedIn, and then I would call them. Not all of them are on LinkedIn. What does your pipeline look like? How do you generate 6 meetings a day?
Yeah, good question. During the pandemic, we're primarily outbound. So we were able to get restaurant information from the delivery apps, DoorDash, Uber Eats, and then enter the restaurants that were listed on there into a very personalized sequence. We would find an article, add that link into the first step, and that would grab their attention. And also subject lines were also catchy, but during that time, I think out of our competitors, we were kind of on the forefront of leading an email sequence. A lot of them were in the traditional model of cold calls and whatnot. And so we had a bit of a leg up as far as the advantage that we had with sending out emails to restaurant owners. That narrative is kind of switched now. I think there's a lot of email fatigue going on, especially in the restaurant space. And so we're not quite seeing the success that we have in the past with our email sequences, but we're still finding out different ways to optimize it. At the end of the day, our close rate is fairly high. It's 60 to 70% if we can get someone on a 15-minute demo. And so that was our call to action in our email sequence. Hey, we have 10, 15 minutes of your time. We know you're on Uber Eats, DoorDash, and Grubhub. We just need to figure out what point of sale system you have. If we integrate, great. If not, we can send it to a printer and solve that main point. But with that close rate being really high, we just need to get someone on the phone or on a Google Meet. And so that was our call to action on our sequence. But yeah, now the shift has happened where we have a lot of inbound requests coming in. And that's kind of been the coolest shift in over the last year, is how educated our customer base has become. During the pandemic, people had to get up on an aggregator, and whether it was us or a competitor, and now they know, hey, I actually need this as a feature. I need this. I need dashboard analytics. I need prep times to be instantaneously done across all the delivery apps. I need to be able to 86 market item is sold out. And so they're coming to us with very more specific use cases with features that they need. And we're able to close that out in the deal process. And if they are a fit, then great, they're going to sign up. And so we've actually seen an increase in our close rate, along with an increase of volume coming inbound, which has been great.
Just surprising, because when I think of restaurant owners, pardon my French, but I think of like people that are in the game for lifestyle. They're not necessarily good business people. They're always running left and right. They're not super IQ oriented. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe, yeah, the pandemic like really had them shift mindset with technology, which comes perfectly with my next point, which like I think the name of the game nowadays is being on these apps. If I refer to my own behaviors as a consumer, I go on these apps, and then I see the discounts, like 50% discount. So I like, oh fuck, okay, I need to go check what's out there. Oh, up to 35% discount. So I click, I checked, I analyze, I compare my choices today, and then I order something. And a couple of things with that. Well, I think people should play this discount game. It's like, yeah, that's the human brain at play there. So they should calculate, right? For example, give them a discount of 35% if I order more than $30 or something like that. They should play that game. They should do the math. They should have some kind of accountant or finance guy so that they can win that game. Because the more customer they have, well, obviously it's cash, but if they do a good job at delivering the order on time, not missing out items, because I ordered Indian food this weekend and like 2 items were missing and they had like nice promos. So probably they were over flooded. So if they do deliver the goods and the product is good, then they can remove the discounts, right? And after they can be really successful at selling without the discount. So is that the name of a game nowadays?
Yeah, that's really the approach that we try and consult with the restaurants. They come in, be like, hey, you need to get on as many delivery apps as possible because those are new eyeballs that are coming in from these different channels. People don't really care what app they order from as long as they're getting a deal. So whether it's 1 week on DoorDash or 1 week on Uber Eats, hey, they're going to come in. But where the shift needs to happen is you also need to have your own website platform so a customer can order. Hopefully those prices are lower. Hopefully you have more promos going on those sides. And that's really where the marketing comes in, to bring in the new customers from the delivery apps, but then also the second time the order needs to come in from your website, so you can actually make some money off of it.
So
Just
you
because
get
the
them out
margins
of
are
the
so low.
funnel. It's like promo code over promo code. So like first I start with a promo on the app and then I deliver them some kind of QR code in my box and I tell them to scan it and order directly from my website to get another better discount. Is that a good strategy right there?
I think so. Yeah. And I mean, there's so many different marketing ways. It could just be like a small flyer, or yeah, a QR code or a hashtag of like, hey, 15% off your next order if you phone in or go directly to our website. Right. So
And here's a
that's
couple
really the
of
trend.
coupons for your friends and family, right?
Exactly. Yeah. There's so many options. So it is really just about the transition of it, of bringing the new customers in and having your repeat customers come in through your website.
I think that packaging is so important as well. One, to not ruin the environment, so it's like not too much of it. And second, the thing is when you order food, it's so inconvenient to trash it afterwards. It takes so much space, all the box over boxes over boxes. So one area they could optimize as well is ergonomy, like
Yeah.
perfectly small boxes but packed with food. I think that could be a nice area as well.
Or like reusable packaging. So like, hey, if you order from the next time, bring it back. You'll get a new one back, but that one gets recycled properly through their channel if you're picking it up from the restaurant the second or third time, right? And so again, there's a lot of factors. The environment is a big one, and I think that's really where a massive opportunity is, in this space, for a cool partnership to happen.
Yeah. And one can think of deeper funnels. Like me, if I would own my restaurant, I would say like, look, you're super loyal to us. Why don't you think of starting your own chain? If
Yeah,
you love
yeah,
the product, then yeah, just help me build this empire. I want to take the last minute real quick to talk about Ghost Kitchens and Travis Kalakanis next moonshot. I've always been excited by this guy. You know how he does things, very wartime leader. What do you think about cloud kitchens? Are you bullish on the idea?
I like the idea, overall. Um, the only thing that is kind of concerning is the data side. Like, where are they getting the data from? I'd be looking into that, just to protect the restaurants that are signing up. Hey, what is happening to my data, my menu data? Where's it going? But at the end of the day, Ghost Kitchens is all about optimizing, trying new things, um, looking at the highest selling items on a menu, ditching the ones that aren't performing, and bringing up new ones and new concepts. And the barrier to entry is so low for Ghost Kitchens is that if you're not optimizing, you're not going to be successful. And that's kind of what we're seeing in the space right now. And so, yeah, I mean, as far as like trying new things, I think Cloud Kitchens and Travis have done a good job as far as fostering the opportunity, that has come along with it. And yeah, kind of excited to see where it goes, from that side of things.
Thank you so much for the value you shared today. That was a fun conversation. Where can people find out more about you, Javas?
Yeah, I'm on LinkedIn. Feel free to reach out, and also Cuboh.com if you guys want to chat about restaurant or restaurant technology. Happy to chat.
Love it, dude.